I've updated our intro slide to be a little bit more thematic with the class. I know a lot of people have been looking at online prices and stuff lately. Becky emailed me a good tip. North Face is doing a 50% off promo for healthcare workers right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's a link. I'll send it out in the follow-up email. There's a link where you register and you show some sort of proof that you're a healthcare worker, and you can get 50% off all their products. Oh, yeah, looks like Caleb's got it in the group chat right there. Just a reminder, I'm not sure if Zoom fixed their security issues, so just copy and paste links rather than clicking on them from the group chat.
They don't look like they're clickable anymore, so maybe that's how they solved that problem.
Oh, could be.
Good find though. That's awesome.
Yep. Veterans also, if you're a veteran, do www.expertvoice.com. You upload a copy of your veteran paperwork, known as the DD-214 for all you Army military people out there, and they will give you a variety of discounts on different brands. Also, look at buying used. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace is pretty good. eBay. Hit up Dave, Dave Freepond. He's here. He's great at finding deals. And then think about, especially for the cost of gear, think about like 90% performance. You know, something that's going to get you all the way there, like is going to get you what you need, but it's not necessarily top of the market. We talked about ultralight stuff and some, especially the Dyneema, that gets pretty spendy. But an REI Quarter Dome is a pretty good backpacking tent already, and it's much, much cheaper. If you've noticed, I've got a whole garage full of stuff. I didn't go out and buy that after one backpacking class. I've been building up my collection for about 7 years now, about mid-2013 is when I really started getting into it. So don't get overwhelmed. It's definitely a process. Jessica, let me put that in the group chat. www.expertvoice.com. That is they will ask you to upload your DD-214 as a proof that you're a veteran, and then they'll give you access to a variety of different brands and deals. So Black Diamond's on there, Outdoor Research is on there. So it's a good resource.
Casey, is that one general to lots of different resources, or because REI has their own, so maybe it's on there, but the one you put in there, the Expert Voice, is that for multiple discounts?
Yeah, it's for multiple discounts, multiple brands. Some brands you've never heard of are on there. They have different brands are available depending on what group you're in. So I'm in the military group, so I get access to a lot of the tactical style brands like 5.11, other stuff like that. If you are a American Mountain Guidance AMGA member, they have a group on there. If you are a American Alpine Institute member, you can get an account on there. There are different, so like they tailor the brands that you have available depending on the group you're a member of.
Got it.
So if you've been paying attention to the class, the course schedule, you've read it, you'll notice that we're kind of in a transitional class. We're going to kind of finish up the packing list now with the GPS this class, but after going forward, we're primarily going to be focusing on skills. We've covered most of the gear that you need. Now we're going to start focusing on different skills. And so looks like it's 6:32. I'm going to go ahead and get started, maybe. There we go. So this class, we're going to talk about trip planning, which is different from navigating through the woods. This is about planning your trip at home and using your maps to do that. We'll talk about safety and emergency management, which is different from first aid. This is what you do when you are during the emergency, not necessarily treating the person who's hurt. And we're going to talk about GPS familiarization. We're going to cover the basics of it, and I'm going to focus on what you probably already have right now, which is a smartphone. We'll cover some personal locator beacon stuff. We're going to cover some standalone GPS stuff, but we're going to spend most of it on smartphones because that's what I would recommend that you use. And then, so our first instructor is Chuck. Chuck, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chuck Weirman. Been with IMAC about 10 years or so in a variety of positions, hiking chair, winter chair, vice president, president, past president, so a lot of that. But I've done a lot of hiking before IMAC, solo on my own, and with my son a lot. And I guess what a lot is about 7 or 8 years ago, I retired my hiking hat after its 50th season. So I've been at this a while. I'm a professional forester by background and education. Worked in the Olympics for years, all across the country for Boise Cascade. And my last job was setting up the hybrid poplar plantations here in the Columbia Basin. And now I'm retired, so I can have fun all the time.
Nice. Thank you, Chuck. So yeah, talk about trip planning, all the W's, the metrics, what to do along the way, and finding your way. We're going to go over safety and emergencies. Like I said, this is mostly about what happened during what you were doing during the emergency, not necessarily first aid for the person. First aid is going to be a later class. And we're going to talk about GPS. We'll talk about handhelds for a little bit, but mostly I'm going to focus on the capabilities you probably already have with your smartphone. And for backpacking, 99% of the time, that's all you're going to need. But first, let's be social. Drop in the group chat about an encounter you had with wildlife. This is a picture from my Wonderland Trail backpacking trip. And I came into this meadow, and there was a bear feeding on the other side. He was a little bit closer when he was feeding. I looked at him, and he didn't see me yet. And so I yelled out. I said, "Hey, bear." And that was probably a bad idea, because he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. I looked at him, and I was like, uh-oh. And we had a stare down for a little bit, and eventually he started moving on. He kind of 45-degree angled it away from me instead of turning around and running. He kept his eyes on me the whole time, and he grunted. They sound kind of like pigs a little bit. He was grunting almost like a pig grunt. And yeah, that's my most favorite encounter. George has seen black bears a few times. Dory got a moose crossing. Oh yeah, moose I think they're the most dangerous animal in Alaska in terms of people they injure. Amy Mittal saw a wild buffalo in Utah. Adam got a bison in Yellowstone. A grizzly. Cassidy, how'd that go for you? Here to tell the tale. Bear pop out of the brush. Mountain lion. That's a pretty good one. Rattlesnake in the research field. Seen rattlesnakes a couple times. Morgan almost stepped on a rattlesnake this weekend. You're out doing yard work or badger or something? Hiking. Yep. Rode your bike into a ditch to avoid hitting a skunk. I think that would be probably my choice as well. I think skunks would probably make me more scared than black bears. Yeah. Chased a deer out of the brush. Dog was happy. Raccoons in the cooler. Dave was with me and we had crows get in our food up on Middle Sister one year. All righty. Yeah, it sounds like we've all had a lot of experiences with wildlife. And I will turn it over to Chuck, who is going to talk to you about trip planning and later get into wildlife managing or managing your encounters with wildlife.